I have chosen the book Songs of the Water Boatman and Other Poems by Joyce Sidman. She received a 2013 National Council of Teachers of English Award for Excellence in Poetry. The illustrator is Becky Prange, and she, for her illustrations, this book received the 2006 Caldecott Honor Book Award. The publisher is Houghton Mifflin Company. The copyright is 2005. The genre is poetry and nonfiction. There are 32 pages, and it is appropriate for grades 3 to 5. All of the poems in this book take place in wetlands and ponds, and each poem has a short explanatory paragraph on the connecting page that describes the flora and the fauna of the pond. And it's right here. The poem would be on a page, and then this tells about, for instance, this is the tree frog, and then it would have some interesting facts about the tree frog, and that, I believe, is why this particular book wouldn't just be poetry, but it would also be nonfiction, because it has this in it. The illustrations in this book, they're all painted in earth tones, and they appear to be three-dimensional. And the all the photos complement the words in the book. For instance, it tells about the tree frog and how this expands, and that is about the wood duck and how the mother is down here and the babies, she calls to the babies, and they just drop from the nest and follow her. And I do think that they complement the text so well that it's entertaining for the reader as well. They talk about just the basic ecosystem of a pond and how the animals and the plant life survive. In the middle of the book, it is the title of the poem is In the Depth of the Summer Pond, and it has repetition in it. I'm just going to read just a tad bit of it, but it says, "Here floats the flea waving antenna that eats the algae green and small in the depths of the summer pond. Here nods the nymph with feathery gills that drinks the flea that eats the algae green and small in the depth of the summer pond." And it starts from the small flea, and then how it ends is, "Here hunts the heron, queen of the pond, that spears the fish, that swallows the frog, that gulps the bug, that nabs the nymph, that drinks the flea, that eats the algae green and small in the depths of the summer pond." So that's something very interesting that they put right in the middle of the book, and it talks about the food chain that happens in life on the pond. I do think this is appropriate for children, and I think that they can take away from this what it's just all the things that are happening in a pond that they might not be aware of, or just a waterway, a wetland. There's so much that happens underneath, and a very, very interesting one is known as the water bear. And if you read my summary, there's a link that you can actually go. These are microscopic, and they when the water dries up, they kind of shrivel up, and the wind can blow them, and they can live for decades like that. But as soon as they hit water, they swell up and they just take off where they left off, and that's very interesting. An activity that I have chosen to go along with this book would be it's a science activity, and we would discover and observe and identify water creatures firsthand. So after the reading the book, we'd take a trip to a nearby pond. We would have several shallow, clear basins, sketch pads, and notebooks. That's so we can see well. I would divide the students into 4 groups and have each group scoop out some water from the pond into the basin. And 2 of the students can sketch plants and animals that they find, and the other 2 would work to identify those animals. And then when we return to the classroom, we will see if we found any of the same animals that, or animals, insects, anything that's listed in this book. It did have things from insects all the way to turtles are in this book too, and ducks. So it's a very, very interesting book. Thank you.